Margaret Hershey on The Move with Margaret, and welcome to our studio today here in Pompano Beach, Florida, where I've got the famous Imee, who is a marketing guru, who's going to be talking to us today. So I always say to people, you can have the best product at the best price, but if you can't market it, you won't sell any, and that's what it's all about. So marketing is so important. To me, it's the most important thing. You've got to buy right, you've got to sell right, but you have to market right if you want to move the stock. And this is what it's all about. But Imee, you weren't born in marketing, so tell us a bit about you growing up. I see you've got your Egyptian around your neck. Yes. So tell us a bit about the real Imee, who just was a little girl growing up, and how you worked your way here.
Awesome. First, thank you for having me today, because this is lovely to be able to be with you and all of your followers and everything, which is fantastic. So I love what you're doing. But I wasn't born into marketing, although my dad might have said that I was a born salesperson at some point in my life. But I was born and raised in Minnesota. My mom is Filipino. My dad, he was from Egypt.
Yeah.
And grew up in a very Midwestern, town.
Yeah.
My parents had, my dad was in finance as an executive in a company, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And then became a preschool teacher.
Oh, wow.
And so I just kind of went, I never started learning really anything about sales or marketing until I started working at 19. I had dropped out of school, out of college, and I decided that I wanted to go into network marketing.
Oh, wow.
And I started in this company where we sold, kind of a company before its time, selling water filtration, herbs, all of these things. We were recruiting sales teams and doing all kinds of things. And I learned a ton about marketing and sales in that. It was almost like a crash course for marketing and sales. And that company closed 5 years later.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what do I do? I was in my young 20s. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I started, I had always loved fashion. And I decided that I wanted to go into fashion design.
Oh, wow.
And so...
It was different.
Yeah, so very different.
You can change. Let's pivot and change.
Very different. At the time, I had my nieces. I used to call them the divas, because they were just the little divas. And I started designing clothes for them. And so I actually created a line of little girls' clothing at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I took my little sales kind of training, and I would just go from state to visiting all these little boutiques and selling my clothing line. And so it took off for a while. I had been in like 30 different boutiques around the country.
Oh, my goodness.
And then the economy took a huge downturn. That was like in 2008, 2007.
That's right.
And all these boutiques had to close, and I had all this inventory that I had put on my credit cards to do all the
to sell.
To do all the manufacturing, and then nobody could take their orders. So now I was sitting there stuck with these orders and no way to sell it, because I was only selling wholesale. Yeah. And I was like, I guess I got to figure out how to do online marketing.
Yes.
Right?
And that was long ago when online marketing wasn't
This is literally
strong.
at the beginning of Facebook. I didn't even have a Facebook page. This is like in MySpace days. So I figured out how to start a Facebook page. It was the first website I created. I got on Wix and created a little website, and I had to get rid of this inventory. And so I started marketing and selling online. That was my first introduction to online sales. Yeah. Fast forward a little bit more. My husband, he also had a window cleaning, still has a window cleaning and pressure washing business. Yeah. And he had been advertising just in the Yellow Pages.
Oh yes, and those days.
Yes, I mean I'm dating myself. I'm like a dinosaur. And so at that time, we had to figure out how to get more customers, right? Yeah. And somebody said, you could advertise on Google, and I said, you can? Yeah. Okay. And I remember sitting down and figuring out our first Google ads, and we figured that out, and that's how that business was fed. So at all this time, out of necessity, I was just figuring out a Facebook page and how to market products online, building a first website, all of those things. And then he had met somebody who said, you can actually get listed organically on Google, and we were like, really? And then we started learning about SEO, and that was literally the birth of my marketing experience,
Yes.
my online marketing
Well, you
experience.
literally taught yourself from the ground up. You had nobody taught you how to do it, and even today, it's moving so fast that you can't wait for someone to teach you. You have to figure it out yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no way to go get a degree in this in college
Yeah.
in 4 years and be completely
It would be.
obsolete. Exactly.
So you were working for yourself and then helping your husband at the same time, or did you close your business down and then go to
Eventually, it did have to close. I actually
sold your
then
inventory,
had my son. I had a boy. I was selling girls' clothing. It was just too much for me to go down to Miami all the time and try and manufacture the things.
Yeah.
And then I started actually because of that guy that he met where he had an agency.
Yeah.
And I started learning about online marketing. I started bringing him clients, and we kind of partnered on it for a while until I learned how exactly to do this myself. And I started taking on my own clients where we now run, we can build websites, we do funnel strategy, we do Facebook and Google ads, social media marketing, the whole gamut. So really helping entrepreneurs, specifically a lot of entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space, coaching businesses, or anybody in a family-based.
So now you became your husband's supplier or working for him. How did that work out? Because I love family businesses. I always promote family businesses, but it's a tricky situation because you'd say let's do this, and he'd say well maybe we should do this. And how did that work out?
Yeah, he handles his business solely now, and that's a good thing too, is learning really how to rank organically online.
Yeah.
At that time, we had been running Google ads, and that's how he built his business.
Yeah.
And at that time, oh my gosh, spending $500 a month on Google ads was like, for us.
Yeah.
And we learned how to rank online organically.
Yeah.
And because of that, he has not run paid ads in almost 15 years or more.
That's incredible.
And at the time, it would get to $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. But because of what we did, building his SEO strategy, he hasn't had to do paid ads. And now, of course, he has lots of referrals and repeat business and all of those things. Yeah. So.
Wow. And then so you got rid of your business, you raised your son, and did you stay at home or did you continue working throughout that whole setup?
No, so I was thankfully able to stay home with my son, which was just the best years ever. And also, but working while he is home, so trying to build up that business. I was able to work from home as well as raise my son and just have that flexibility. As I took on clients, I was able to, take on clients where I could, talk to them when I could, and while my son's taking a nap or doing all the things. And I have pictures of myself on conference calls with him on my back, on silent. Hilarious.
So with that, your husband was still not running his business, and you were still doing the marketing for him in his business, and still doing this, and then you took on other clients as well.
Yes. He was, his business was pretty self-sustaining at that point. I would, change up his Google ads here and there, but mainly his business runs his business on his own. But then that's when I was really building up my clientele and starting to take on projects myself.
How did you find it? Was it all online then? So you just went online and you found a client who wanted to do something, or how did you do that? Because the woman's sitting at home now thinking, how on earth did I start? How did you start?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was a lot about just personal referrals and relationships. Yeah. That first, actually, this is a really funny story. A very good friend of mine, Shay Marcus, at the time was a senior VP at a publishing company called Wainscott Media. And they had advertising, they had a slew of custom publications, magazines, and an advertising department. Yeah. So we were at her birthday in Napa Valley for her 40th birthday. And I said, at this time now, I really understand about digital marketing. I'm trying to build up my clientele. I said, do you sell digital marketing are you selling only print or are you selling digital? And she said, well, we've tried to sell digital, but this and that, we haven't been as successful.
In those days, they thought magazines were the thing, and they were going to last forever.
Yes, absolutely. And magazines still so successful as far as what they're doing. They have a great niche. But we brought it to the owner of that company and said, we could do build out a digital arm.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
And it became, we became their digital marketing arm.
Yeah.
White labeled our services for that company.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a very great learning experience. They would bring me anything from, roofers to contractors to high-end jewelry to menswear, usually high-end businesses. And I would have to figure out like, okay, we're running an SEO program for these people, or we're going to run a Facebook ad program.
And how did you do that? Did you look for keywords, or obviously you interviewed the person, said, tell me about your business, and they said, one's in jewelry and one was in something else, and you had to learn all these businesses and what worked.
You start to learn how to become a copywriter real quick. it's a lot of running and gunning. But yes, there's a lot of research that you can do to find. Now, gosh, a chat GPT search or a search in Claude can tell you all of this information. We were using tools and had subscriptions and had to do all this research through Google AdWords and do all this research using, all these different, programs. Now it's so much easier to find that information.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So you researched them, and then you brought them in and you marketed them. How did you do it? With videos, with just pictures? How did you work on it?
Depending on what program they had signed up for. So some of them, it was like an SEO program. So our key performance indicators would be, are they getting found online with particular keywords? So if it's
And how fussy were they? Because people are fussy. They're paying you for the service, and then they're selling 10 of an item, and then they come to you and they expect you to sell 100 of an item.
Sure.
And they'd say to you, well, is this working? Or would you say to them, is this working for you, or isn't it? How would you work that one out?
Yeah, so it's key performance indicators are a big thing. Understanding your goals as far as what setting expectations.
I was going to say, you've got to set the expectations of what you can do and what you can't do.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, I can bring people to that business. I can say, hey, your business was ranking on page 3. Now it's ranking on page, number 1 ranking. Yeah. I can show you that through your Google performance that you are getting phone calls. But if you're not selling and if you're not closing them, I'm really sorry. So there's a lot of expectation setting and a lot of things that we do. But of course, we want to drive conversions. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And so different programs do different things. Like if you're running, let's say you're running a Facebook ad program, or you're running a sales funnel, of course our marker will be, all right, how many sales did you make, or how many phone calls did you book, or how many phone calls did you book? Then that's all marketing up to that point. Now it's on, if they're selling it, that's them on the phone or contacting that client, doing their follow-up, etc.
Yes, because it's all in the follow-up at the end of the day, and you've got to just keep going. So then they would go and you would grow their business, and then they would expect even more of you. And how did you scale your business to be able to accommodate them?
Yeah, we have always just been able to grow and offer different things. That's a good point, because people will come to me all the time and say, okay, I have a Facebook ad campaign, or I have a social media strategy, or I have, an offer. And what happens is that they're all a little disconnected, right? Somebody might have a great social media following, but they're not running Facebook ads, or their website's terrible, or whatever the case may be. What we do as a company is we literally put together, I do something called a marketing intensive, where we'll look at all of their assets, and then behind the scenes figure out how can we make these work synergistically.
Okay.
So that if you are running Google ads, let's say, or you're running paid ads, that when you are doing your social media, your paid ads should really stand on the shoulders of what you're doing in social media, not the reverse. And so we talk about, okay, well, great, you have 30,000 followers on social media, but how big is your email list? And what are you doing to attract those people from social media to your email list? That's very important. And so we talk about how to do all of that.
Building up their database as well, because I know myself, starting a new business here, I had to build up my database from literally zero.
Right.
And now I have to keep adding people, because they're the ones that I'm sending the ads to. But people come to you and they they've got an expectation of you, and you have to set the boundaries. This is what I can do, and this is what I can't do. You have to still build up your database. You've got to contact your customers. I can do so much for you, but you've got to work on it as well. How do you handle that situation, especially when it's not going so well? They're coming back and saying, I was hoping to increase my business by 100%, but I've only increased by 10%.
Right.
How do you handle that, and what do you say to them to get them back on the right track?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it really, again, goes back to setting up the expectations at the very beginning.
Yes.
So, what is it that you hope to accomplish from this program? Of course, it's always sales or increase in customer.
Right? God could only say 10x your business.
Yes.
And they always think 10x my business.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Grant Cardone. so yes, but when you unpack that from, this, okay, well, let's go to, you want 10x your business. How many phone calls are you getting currently?
Yeah.
Okay. How many closings from that are you doing?
Yeah.
How many times, and from that, well, from that, how many times are you posting?
Yes.
Or what kind of ad spend are you running? Depends on their strategy. All right. And what are your offers leading up to that?
Yeah.
So you can work backwards and then figure it out, right?
Yes.
And then let's just say, for an example, let's just say it's an ad campaign, paid ad campaign.
Yeah.
Okay. If we run an ad and we can see that it's getting tons of engagement, it's getting a lot of clicks.
Yeah.
But then they click on it and they get to the landing page and now they leave. And they're not opting in or buying whatever. Yeah. Well, then we know it's the landing page or the offer that needs the issue. Thing. You can go through the chain of events.
Yes.
If you're running an ad and the ad isn't working, nobody's clicking on it, nobody cares. Well, then you got to change that, right? You got to change the wording in that. You got to change the creative.
You have that hook to pull people in with everything.
Exactly, and that goes for social media, organic strategy, and it goes for ads. So then let's go there. So now ad is working, or the social media post is working. Great. They get to the landing page, then they're not working. Okay, well then your landing page needs work, or your wording on your landing page needs work, or the offer is bad. Then if they go through that, they take, maybe it's a freebie, maybe it's a paid offer, whatever it is, they get to that, and then let's say that the offer is to book an appointment.
Yeah. Okay.
They book the appointment, and then they get on the phone with you.
Yeah.
Or let's say they don't get on the phone with you.
Yeah.
So they book the appointment, they don't get on the phone. Is your follow-up strategy somewhere in between there? Right? Did you send them a text? Did you send them an email? Did you send them reminders? Did you send them some kind of whatever to engage them so that they don't ghost you, right, on that phone call? And now if they show up on that phone call and they're there and you're not closing them,
then it's your fault.
Well, I mean, not your fault, but what is it that they didn't say yes to?
Yes.
Was it the price? Was it the offer? Was it the way that you interacted?
The person didn't say it the way they wanted to hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it your sales strategy? Yeah. Was it what you said? Did you vet them? So you can work through the chain of events. And when we work with our clients, we try to get through that entire thing. Now, unfortunately, as a marketing agency, a lot of times we don't get to handle that back end.
Right.
Thing. It's like we get them to the door, but then when they're
you don't know what happened when they went through.
And that's like a whole nother. Yes, we can help you with your sales strategy and all those things, but so I really try to impart to every client that I take on that this really is a partnership. Like I'm not a magic genie. I wish that I could tell you that do this and voila, sales will appear. No, that's not. And even with almost 15 years of experience in marketing at this point, I can make pretty good educated guesses about what I think will work in your industry and what won't. Yeah. But still, there's always adjusting. There's always hooks. You're always testing things. And now with different platforms and different, you're always working on it.
So do you find that you've got to put it on all the platforms? I'm a great one. Put it on every platform. And other people say, no, you've got to be more specific. And obviously the professional people, they go on LinkedIn and, younger people go on TikTok. But I say you never know who your customer is. Sure. And although I know my following is between 25 and 55 and they're mostly women, although my LinkedIn profile, funny enough, is 55% men now, which is amazing.
Good.
So, but you never know. But I just say put everything everywhere and see what works. It's called the shotgun approach. But other people say, no, you've got to be more specific. How do you manage that?
Listen, we're all entrepreneurs
Yeah.
and we have limited amounts of time.
Yes.
I am a fan of what you just talked about, of let's put it out there because you never know what's going to hit and what's not
You
going
never
to.
know who's going to click on that today.
Exactly. And it doesn't really cost you anything extra to put it on all the platforms, so why not?
Yeah.
Now, there are definitely differences between and nuances between platforms,
Yes.
Whereas TikTok, for example, is becoming much more of a search engine versus Instagram, which is still more of a social platform.
Yes.
And I could take the exact same post, real style post, and put it on TikTok and Instagram. I just had it yesterday. I had a client. I put the same exact post, and it was just a top of funnel, like a very attraction style post, something funny, relatable to her niche. It had 485,000 views yesterday.
Wow.
On Instagram, Facebook, and 300 on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
But generally it's the reverse. We'll see something on TikTok and she'll get 20,000 or 75,000 views on TikTok and like 400 on Instagram.
Oh, gosh.
And you never know. And I put it out there to all of it because first, she doesn't have time to record a different video for each platform.
No.
And so let's just put it all out there. That's generally the client. Now, if you have time, God bless you.
Yeah. It's so, but I always say it's so important to have somebody to do it for you because the people who do it themselves, you can't do everything yourself. Yeah. And it just, to me, it just doesn't come, and you've got to know when to put it on, the right time to put it on. When do these people want to see it? When will it pop up on their feed? If it pops up on their feed while they're at work, they can't watch it. But if it pops up on their feed while they're sitting at home, they will watch it.
Right.
So there's all that type of thing you've got to take into account as well. And I'm a great believer that everybody should have somebody who just does their social media and then focuses on that. Because otherwise, when you try and do it yourself, you do a little bit and you stop. You do a little bit and you stop. It's fine, girls, if you're sitting at home. That's a good way to get started. But once you get up and running, you can't run your business and run your social media at the same time. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And I'm a great believer in that.
Yes.
Okay, so when somebody's sitting at home, they started their business. So we've got, say, a nail technician or a physiotherapist or somebody with a range of clothing, and they really want to get their social media out there. How do they go about choosing an agency? Because there's so many. Where do you start?
There's a ton of agencies at a ton of different price points too.
Yes.
And I understand, like trying to get your social media out there when you're running a limited budget, it's tough, right? And then finding the time though to do it is also tough.
Yes.
And so generally with my clients, first is when you're looking for an agency or you're looking for any kind of a marketing partner, make sure that they resonate and understand your message.
Yes, and that you're on the same page together, that you like similar things, because I think it's so important. As you say, it's a partnership. It's so important that you're literally on the same page and you go forward together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, for me, for example, I have kind of niched down to, generally I have female entrepreneurs that I work with, although I have male clients as well. But it's gotten to be in this niche of the health and wellness space or any family businesses. Because at the end of the day, I'm kind of their ideal client, right? I understand what their customer wants and needs because I think that way.
Yes.
And so it's easier for me to understand that woman's pain points, what they want, when they're busy, they're raising kids, they're in their 40s, all of those things. That's important to understand.
Yeah.
Because if you don't understand exactly who your ideal client avatar is, what keeps them up at night, what do they struggle with, what do they need, how do you identify, you want that person to think, was she in my living room last night? Or you want that person to really say, oh my gosh, how are you in my head? Those are the best comments that you can get on social media, because then you know that your message is resonating with them. Absolutely. And if you have a marketing partner that doesn't understand intimately that customer, then it's just not going to work out, right? So that's first. But second, then trying to figure out somebody that can work within what your needs are, and
have a budget. You've got to have a budget, because I think a lot of people don't even begin to understand that it's expensive, And if you're creating your own content, I just had a situation today when one of our branches created their own content, and it was terrible, and it copied somebody else's post, which looked okay for them, but for us it didn't just resonate.
Yeah.
And I had to say, you've got to take that out. It's just not working, you know. So I think it's quite important that people know what work, and so just talk about creating your own content and giving it to somebody, or do you actually create the content for the people and tell them what to do?
So at different levels of our services, I do have some clients that I literally go, and my goal is to always make social media not complicated.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to have Steven Spielberg produce your content. Everybody thinks, oh, if I'm not having these flashing things and these things, no. In fact, there's research now that's coming out that's showing that the more polished your actual content looks, the less reach it actually gets.
Yeah, and people want something that's authentic. They want to see
Absolutely.
the real you, and you are doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. They want to be able to relate. They want to be able to see that you're an actual person, you know. And so, yes, some of my clients, I do have a level of service if they're local, where I will literally go, and I only shoot from an iPhone. I don't even shoot from an actual camera. And I will look up, we'll research what is trending in your niche.
Yes.
We'll test different hooks.
Yeah.
We'll test different formats.
Yeah.
So a format is like, you know, a style of video.
Yes.
So you can, for example, a format might be man on the street, where it looks like they're interviewing somebody, right? They seemingly walk up to somebody on the street and ask them a question and interview them. That's like a format. A format might be talking head, where it's just you talking.
Yes.
A format might be
like a lifestyle, where you see, like we are doing real estate, we film the home and we make it look really nice and all that type of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you have to find the format that resonates with your audience the best. And once you find that, and then you test a lot of hooks. A hook is, you know, the first 2-3 seconds of that video needs to get their attention and stop them from scrolling. That is everything when it comes to social media. So yes, I do have some clients that I do go film. We write the script or the set list. We go film, we edit, and we publish. All inclusive. I do have some other clients as well that we will still give them the set list, all the hooks, we do all the research, we send it to them, they do their own filming, they send us the clips, we edit, and then we post. Okay. That's the majority of kind of the social media, because I can't be everywhere at once. But I am also creating a kind of a membership, basically, that if you do need to start doing it on your own, and most people need to start at some point doing it on their own, it shows you the exact how to do it. And then we have monthly coaching calls where we will coach you through it. So
and then they send you the content that they've created, and then you just edit it, or just
with the membership level, they'll learn how to edit and post on their own. But if they wanted to get into a done with you style of service, or done for you type of style, of course we have those available. But this is meant, and especially now with AI, with using Claude, with using ChatGPT, we will literally give you the prompts, show you how to curate your own social media feed, how to do the research, how to write the scripts, how to create your set list, and then you just have to go record it and then talk about where, and then publishing it, adding the captions and everything, the titles and then the captions and all.
That's incredible. Now, how did you started all on your own, doing it all, but then you realized, no, I can't do this all myself, I have to get somebody to help me. How did you go about finding that person?
That's a great question. I use a lot of virtual assistants. Things like onlinejobs.ph, great resource. You could even, if you just need one-off type of services, you could use something like Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, where you might be able to find somebody who does video editing, build a sales page for you, you know, whatever you want. You just have to find the right ones. It kind of takes a little while, you know.
Resonate with you.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of times they're overseas, in different countries. But then it's just
they do the work, and if you're paying in American dollars, if you get somebody from South Africa or India or somebody there where the money is cheap, it's really inexpensive to do that. It's
absolutely,
just finding the right person and So some of the women who are staying at home now, their children are still small, and they think, I would like to be that type of virtual assistant. How do they go about setting it up?
Yeah, that's great. To market themselves as a virtual assistant, I don't do that. But there's resources out there. Actually, a friend of mine from a coaching group, a long time ago, she has a free mama. She actually coaches women on how to be a virtual assistant, which is quite amazing. So these women are working from home. They market their services from anything from running a person's CRM to answering emails, doing some light marketing or copywriting. Absolutely, that you can 100%. There, in this day and age, you can 100% be a working stay-at-home mom, working virtually from wherever you are, if you know a certain set of skills on the computer.
Absolutely.
100%, yes.
Yeah, fantastic. So we're talking about everybody working from home and that, but with SEOs, do you think that they are growing, or are they evolving, or are they going to be disappearing, do you think, with all the new Claudes and the ChatGPTs and all the other things that are coming?
That's an awesome question and it's one that I'm researching every single day. So SEO, search engine optimization, has been predominantly keyword based. So if you're searching for a hairstylist near me, that's what you're searching. But now that's not how people search. People are literally searching on AI and ChatGPT saying what are the best services near me and what do they offer? And ChatGPT will have a whole conversation with you, right?
And the price and everything.
Absolutely. So AEO, which is AI engine optimization, essentially, it's changing the game. Also, the way that people are searching now, I just watched my son do this, and as the generations change. He went to go look up a recipe. He didn't look on Google. He looked on TikTok.
Oh, really?
And he went to go look up a recipe. How do I cook a steak? And he looked it up, a video up on TikTok. And that just shows you how generations are changing. Google is not going to be the number one search engine anymore. We're looking at ChatGPT, Claude, and social media channels like TikTok. Being larger search engines than Google will ever be. And now, Google's trying to keep up with like Gemini and all of these things, but the way people search now, you have to change the copy on your sales pages and on your websites to match how people are searching. So instead of just keyword based, it needs to be questions, like how people actually ask. So having frequently asked questions on your website is super, super important. Stating the way you start a paragraph to answer, like the way that people ask. And I have prompts that will help this. Actually, we use these prompts to create all of our clients' website copy. Happy to give those away for free. That you put this prompt specifically into ChatGPT or Claude saying, please write this copy to help me rank not only on Google but also on search on AI platforms like Claude, Perplexity.
Wow! And so you ask it and it does it all for you. It tells you what to do.
You don't even have to guess anymore. It's so crazy.
So you still go in and you speak to the clients and you sort them all out, and then you just literally watch their businesses grow as you market them. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a fun. That part is probably the most rewarding, right? Is being able to be part of a client's journey and watch them.
And I love the fact that you're there to help women, because so many women today, I know in South Africa 67% of all the properties are owned by women, and I think it must be about almost the same here. And I think people don't realize how women have actually taken over, and they want their own homes and they want their own income and they want all this stuff themselves, and they're doing it, and you're there to help them, which I think is just amazing. I think it's wonderful that you do put yourself out there and just go the extra mile for them, because I think as women, I always say girls fight and women support each other, and as women we have to support each other, and especially coming into to women who sort of becoming empty nesters now, because a lot of them, kids have gone to college, you've got nobody at home. What are you going to do with your day? I mean, you've been bringing these kids up and sorting their lunches out for so long, and suddenly that's gone, and you've got to do something. And I think that this type of work, doing it virtually, is just the answer, because you can still be at home, you've got all your nice things around you, and you can just carry on working. So I think
absolutely, and it's learnable. I mean, these are skills that are not it's not like you have to go to college and get a degree for this stuff.
You can't get
Yeah, you can't. It would literally be obsolete. You could teach yourself how to do these things, or there's a million courses out there, how to run, I don't know, pick a platform and learn.
Yeah.
And now with AI, I mean, literally you could have a teacher in your in your living room right there at any time. Mm-hmm.
So to the women sitting out there who are really thinking, oh, now, but where do I start? What do I do? What do you say to them? Because you've got yourself off your starting blocks, and you and I are people who we go get us, we go out and we make it happen. Yeah. But you get the little wilting flower who wants to stand in the corner. But in today's day and age, you can't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. So I always say to them, girls, you've got to get out there and look at me. Why blend in when you were born to stand out? So you've got to put it out there and get over yourself, because I think I still today try and inform people and say, oh no, I don't want to be in the photo. Why ever not? Get over yourself and put yourself out there. I think they don't want to be in the photo because they're scared people will criticize them. Mm. And women today, we've all got that thing. Was I okay? Is it okay? But I think that today you've got to sort of put yourself out there and just let yourself out there. So what would you say to the women sitting out there that are stuck in a rut in a corporate job that they hate, or doing the same thing every single day? At least with our jobs, every day is different. So I think that's a big thing. Yeah. What's your advice to them?
I think I would just say, I think as women especially, it's like, I don't know everybody else, but my brain is like I have 47 tabs open at all times, right? And it gets overwhelming. Yeah. And that overwhelm. Yes. You get so to the point of overwhelm that you don't do nothing. Yes. Right?
It's to do nothing than to try and do something.
Right. Yeah. And you think about, if I have to do this, I have to do that. And then you freeze, and then you do nothing. Yeah. And the way out of that, right, is and one of my favorite sayings is like, you'll never get through hell by standing in the same spot. Yeah. you have to literally take steps out of it. Yeah. And so it's just to do the one thing each day. Yes. Just make one phone call, or take one course, or just take one class, or do something, one little thing every single day. We talked about Mel Robbins. She's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing. She's like, okay, count down, and then that's it. You gotta go.
You gotta go and do it. Yeah.
Right. And the only thing that will get you out of overwhelm is action.
Yes. Absolutely, it is. You've got to take action, girls, and nobody's going to do it for you. Then no fairy's going to jump out in the night and do it for you. So the only way to do it is to do it yourselves. And what better day to start than today? So, Imee, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been lovely having you here, and I just hope, I know you've all got a lot out of it, and I think that I think it's going to change the trajectory of some of your lives, because you realize that you can make it happen. You can be a virtual assistant. You can do all this marketing stuff virtually today, and there's no excuse. I don't know how to do it. Who's going to teach me? You've got AI to teach you everything today. So I think, just go into AI, embrace it, run with it, and let it work for you instead of you working for it. And then you can turn the tables, and you can start making money out of it. And it's such a fantastic way to make money. And people need you, because other people doing other things don't have the time to do what you are able to do. And I think, that's it going forward. Yeah. But and just quickly, what we didn't know is, how do you manage? I mean, you've got a husband, you've got a child, you've got a home. How do you balance it all out, and how do you manage to fit everything into the day?
Oh, balance is it's a tricky, I feel like, fairy tale that we were all told, right? Balance is there's no such thing as perfect balance, I believe. No. I'll have seasons where it is work intensive, and that's what your focus is, and you get that, and there will be, and we all have mom guilt, right? Like, I feel like for years and years and years, I'd feel like, oh my gosh, mommy's still working while my son is, and then I reverse, and I would say, okay, this is going to be just him, and you got to give yourself a lot of grace. Yes. Right? You have to, nobody's perfect. Yeah. There's no perfect formula for any one given woman. Yeah. I can't say, this is how I run my day, and say that that's going to be perfect for you.
It might not be,
but you just have to again, just kind of take that one moment, that one step at a time. Yeah. I'm big now, well, trying, I struggle with, but making sure that I time block. Yeah. So if I say, okay, I only am working from this time to this time, and then
Yes.
and that's dedicated time,
Yeah.
and then this is only dedicated time to my family or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and that's something I always have to try and return to because
Yes.
I mess it up all the time, all the time.
Oh, you like me, you want to be in everything. If
Of
it's happening, I'll be
course.
there. Yeah, count on me, I'll be there. And then
Yeah.
suddenly, yeah. And just some of the things that you've done, like getting your boater's license now, your whatever you call it, captain's license for the boat, just doing different things. I think you've got to keep doing different things all the time to get your energy, to keep your energy up, because it's an energetic, you've got to be energetic in this world today. I mean, you can't be, lethargic at all because there's so much to be done.
Yeah.
And
Well, we're all taking notes from you.
yeah, but you've seen that but Mel Robbins has also done it, whether you take the tape measure, it's 100 years, and you cut off where you are now, and this is what I've got left. You
Right.
suddenly think, oh my gosh, I better just give this my best shot because I don't know how much longer I'll be here for. Yeah.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah, and your parting shot to everybody out there about marketing and the way going forward. Tell us how you see it going forward.
Like the trajectory of where marketing is going.
Yes.
I just see it being more and more accessible.
Yeah.
Like that you can now. But it all boils down to the same thing.
Yeah.
No matter back when it was just print ads or mail in, advertisements or whatever. It all literally comes down to who is your ideal customer.
Yeah.
What are their needs? What are their pain points?
Where are they?
We are not marketing to numbers or we're marketing to people.
Yeah.
And if you understand
Yeah.
intimately that person that you're going to talk, don't try and talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Talk to that one person.
Yeah.
And when you can understand that person, everything else becomes easy.
Yeah.
It's really that. So that's
Fantastic.
where the trajectory of marketing, I think, is really understanding your ideal client.
Yeah, well, that was super. So thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank you for if you like, you can subscribe, watch it. And I noticed that more and more of you are subscribing, so thank you for that. And I'll see you next week with another exciting lady who's going to hopefully get you going and give you inspiration to do something, because all of us have got such magic inside of us. Don't die with the music still in you. Let it out there. Let everybody see how fantastic you are. Go through and have a fabulous day today. Thank you.
Awesome.